everybody to the post-game analysis. And Angry Damwon picked up the win in game number 1. How was the game? Looking at the draft, nothing really unconventional came out. It was very typical, and they were really sticking to their original style. And Damwon Gaming, as they usually do, they were super aggressively and they played around this aggressiveness. And Team Dynamics was looking for a punishment onto the over-aggressiveness of Damwon Gaming. So even though Damwon Gaming did have a huge lead, Team Dynamics, they were really good at kind of taking all the fights that Damwon Gaming was trying to fight. Leona and Lee Sin on the side of Damwon Gaming was not a really good pick into Varus on side of Team Dynamics because he can single-handedly zone out two of those players. And they were really good at evening out the gold deficit because they were really good at macro and rotation all around the map. I guess Team Dynamics, they did adjust to the style of Damwon Gaming, and that was not a really bad try. Damwon Gaming, they are always fight and then think. At this time of the game, Cannon could not use his TP because he was getting hit by the turret. So that was a really nice pick onto Leona from Team Dynamics. But watch how Kenyon turned the whole momentum around. The way he doubles the aggro from the opponent player was on point. So while Lee Sin buying so much time, Kenyon was able to TP for this bottom lane skirmish. Kenyon gathered up all the players onto the bottom lane, and this trade did not end that bad for Damwon Gaming in the end. Varus and Karma, they should have gotten a lot more winning ads throughout the laning phase, but by Damwon Gaming neutralizing this fight, they weren't able to accelerate the lead. At the same time, Team Dynamics, they were also really on point, answering the fights from Damwon Gaming. Damwon Gaming was adding pressure onto the mid lane, and then they backed after clearing out this vision around the mid lane. Because they had all the vision around that lane, Showmaker sneaked into that brush, but they spotted him with that ward behind him. And as they saw Zoe coming in for assassination, well, actually LeBlanc took a detour to answer his fight. Some people might think that Showmaker was being a little bit greedy at that point, but it was rather Team Dynamics being really smart and reading the moves out of the Zoe. Dynamics could have get the tempo over there, but Showmaker was looking for one more try, trying to chunk down Deokdam. This is the very characteristic play coming out from Damwon Gaming, being really speedy and going for one more try before they back. The player of the game will go to Kenyon and Lee Sin. LCK Lee Sin is no longer weak. In the summer split, it's getting better and better. This was a really awesome backup coming in clutch, because in the mic check, actually Rich say that he didn't really know that Lee Sin would be in the brush as well. He only expected Zoe to be there for a backup. At the end of the game, the level difference between two junglers was so huge, and for skirmishes, Lee Sin is the best champion. As an LCK whole, this is a really good signal that players can pilot this champion with a very high proficiency. DRX and Damwon Gaming are the two teams that they're really showing off really great performance on this pick. So this can be a great news for LCK. At the same time, Noguri got a lot of votes, and also Showmaker, but Beryl did not manage to get a vote over here, but still he did a great job on Leona as well. Now it's time to move on to game number 2, DAMWON Gaming versus Team Dynamics.
Thank you so much, Jisun, as usual, for the analyst desk analysis translation. And here we are for game number 2, DAMWON versus Team Dynamics. I'm hoping that we get something a little bit more interesting. They illustrated the fact that it was a very cookie-cutter draft for both of the teams, and I just want some excitement. Need to wake up here just a little bit, as Canyon does get, I think, a well-deserved player of the game. I think up on this desk we did vote for Showmaker. I thought that he had a good performance as well, as Noguri's always getting some sort of massage, but I haven't seen the head massage just yet.
Yeah, well, it's definitely him trying to power up because, you know, the brain, it's overheating.
Yeah, true.
You know,
I mean, it's a very big one as well.
Right.
You know, he likes to die under turrets against Silas and things like that. Noguri had a very up and down game. He had a very Noguri game today. Found some really good team fights and also, you know, went under some turrets at the inopportune moments and things like that. But I don't think there is any doubt in many people's minds that DAMWON should be able to clinch this second victory as well. A couple of tries to be able to get a match win, which will solidify themselves well and truly in the top 3. I believe this gets them towards second place over Gen G. And we'll have a look to see what they're going to make of the red side. This is theoretically DAMWON's weakest side of the map. But we'll see whether that's going to continue to be true here today. Is Pantheon going to be the first ban on the blue side? Getting rid of that makes a lot of sense, as we illustrated in the previous match. As Volibear, the first ban on red. Whoa, blue side Twisted Fate.
Yep. We'll
Thoughts, musings? I think it's weird for a ban.
Yeah, I'm not totally sure what's going on. DAMWON, though, banning away Ezreal as well. So we'll have to see how these bans keep unfolding. Dynamics, I mean, the cherry on top to weird bans would be Karma.
On the blue side?
On blue side.
Oh, the dream. If your Dynamics banning Karma is a sin, 100%. They could just ban Syndra one more time. That's what they banned on red side last game. That would be exactly the same bans. But it's going to be Varus on the blue side. Sort of switching sides is good old Varus. So now DAMWON, final ban, I believe, should be the Karma, but we'll see what they do decide to get rid of. They banned Galio, Set, and Volibear in the last game. You can see Zephyr sharing a few words here with his team, and Set is going to be banned. So Karma first pick should be coming in here from Dynamics. I would assume, unless they've been psyched out, and they have. The Ashe is going to come in instead. And now I think DAMWON are in an interesting position, because now they have to either pick away the Karma or accept that it's going to be an Ashe Karma lane, which is very difficult to deal with.
Well, let's see what DAMWON want to try to respond to this with. Wukong is being hovered. Will we see Wukong Senna? No.
Wukong Trundle.
And so the Wukong able to be flexed. We know that much. Trundle, not so much. So it's either going to be top or support.
Oh yeah, Senna could still come in here with the Wukong. That's powerful.
Ashe is still one of the initial answers to Senna.
True.
When Senna was starting to rise to power. Okay, Graves, it's been a long time.
A hot minute.
Since we've seen him. He is very good against both the champions DAMWON have currently selected.
Come on, Kuzan. Find that Karma button.
Yeah, I mean, that might be what they're just trying to go for, is Karma, Athene's Ardent Sensor, really just amplifying all of their champions.
Ooh, no. This is very interesting. It's just a lot of damage.
Yeah.
So far.
Picking up the Joey here. That's her name in Korean.
Yeah.
Yeah, Joey.
Because that's how you pronounce the Z sound.
Yeah. And yeah, Senna, it does get locked in.
Although you have to remember, the best Z name is Jigs. Jigs is 100%.
Kajix.
Kajix that's your original, which is definitely a goodie. But I think Jigs is just so fun.
Yeah.
It's like a dance. Brilliant. Karma going to get banned, of course. Surprising that it didn't get locked in. I don't know
feel
about
like
the Zoe
it's a bit of a
giveaway.
blunder because Karma retains flex potency.
Yeah. In 3 different ways.
Yeah. So it's still very surprising why she didn't get locked in over the Zoe. It makes drafting a lot easier because now all that DAMWON has to do is match Zoe on R4 and retain counterpick and counterflex, I guess, if you want to think about it that way. They just have so many more options as we head to R4. I mean, you can pick a multi-flex champion with Wukong.
Yep.
That can also be fasted by Senna, and you can retain that. You can just match the Zoe in mid and retain whether or not Wukong is going to go bot or top. And so just a lot of options remain available.
This ban makes it look like Noguri wants to play the Wukong himself. Silas going to be banned away here.
Yeah.
Might mean that Dynamics are looking for a cannon. They do want a bit more magic damage, I guess. There's now Ghost. Where is he going to go? LeBlanc for Showmaker. Taking the other side of the matchup, potentially, would be interesting. Does have a lot of options, though. I mean, his Corki is available. There's so many different choices that he could make here, but Orianna is going to be the consideration. A lot of wombo here between the Cyclone and the Shockwave.
Yeah.
In fact, that is probably one of the best Shockwave combos. I mean, we all remember back to when Malphite Orianna was a thing. Maybe we don't all remember back because that's probably about 7 years ago, but it is certainly along those lines of being very powerful, and the Silas ban did give away the fact that Cannon was a likely pickup here for Rich.
And DAMWON right now, their team composition, I mean, the other thing that can't be understated about Orianna is she's also going to be able to be so supportive with her shields, and so combined with Senna, it's going to be quite nice for her. Dynamics do lock in the Kennen, and so they're sort of starting to gravitate away from what the first initial picks had going for them against DAMWON, and now they're trying to all in it, and I just can't help but feel like,
oh my goodness,
this is not this isn't it.
No, doesn't feel like it. Especially when there's a Trundle on the opposition side, thinking like, yes, I can give him a bajillion stats whenever I press W. That's a worrying time, as okay, looks like Noguri was intending on playing the Wukong, sees the cannon, still wants to do it. As, no, the last minute switch around. So, the Jace into the cannon this time, and DAMWON flexing on a dime here by the looks.
Yeah.
It's going to be the Jace top lane with the fasted Wukong on the bottom side of the map. With definitely a more slow-moving composition here out of DAMWON Gaming this time around. Apart from maybe Noguri being able to get a bit of control in the earlier stages, this is certainly an opportunity for Dynamics in the earlier stage to make some things happen.
Yeah. I'm a little surprised they ended up going for this as their last pick, but I guess they're wanting a little bit more options and I guess some poke back with the Jace. Now they can siege with him and Orianna. Dynamics' team composition, again, it's one of those ones that it's not congruent with how they've been approaching so many other games so far in the split, and it just feels so bizarre to see them handshake these kinds of draft approaches against DAMWON of all teams.
That being said, I think there's a lot more early game potency out of Dynamics this time, and DAMWON are going to be a little bit more slow moving. So maybe some opportunities to counter snowball for the Dynamics roster, but still feel like DAMWON, if they're able to play their game, their team fight is going to be utterly terrifying if Beryl can get in there with a Shockwave to back him up. And then Canyon holds everyone in place with his little pillar, and Dynamics has a bad time. Meanwhile, Noguri's throwing shock blasts and doing crazy things. He's going to be off on his own, and Ghost just going to be supporting the rest of his team. That, personally for me, that feels very DAMWON. Making sure that Ghost is as supportive as possible, but let's see whether they can actually make it work as we jump onto the Rift. For game number 2, DAMWON currently lead 1-0. But Dynamics with a chance to answer back. And this is a tenacious team. They don't give up easily.
Yeah. And we'll see what ends up transpiring in the early stages of the game.
We got 3 of a kind on the phase rush here. I don't know why I'm making so many poker references.
Yeah, have you played recently? Or?
No, I haven't.
Oh,
Right. I was thinking about it. I bought a deck of cards the other day.
Okay.
When Brendan came over, and us and our partners, I was talking to Brendan like, should we play it? And none of our girlfriends have actually, you know, played poker before, and Brendan didn't want to teach them. I was sad. I thought it would be fun, but maybe it's one of those games where you have a bit of an unfair advantage if you've been playing for over 15 years.
All right.
And
Well,
you try and have a competitive game. I don't know. Oh, got some sweeping coming through here, as Ghost is going to be discovered with his big old gun. I actually really like this skin. Gun looks really cool.
yeah, it does. Definitely looks very advantageous, this kind of a skin. Sometimes you can't even tell what exactly you're being hit with.
Yep.
So that's one of the upsides to it. Canyon is just going to start on his wolf camp. And this has been one of the variations that some players have been starting to do, especially when they get invaded, because it removes the ability for the opponent to just steal away your entire blue side.
Ooh, there's a Zenith Blade. Ghost getting taken down very low. Piercing Darkness to do some work here as Beryl gets lit on fire. Doc Thumb still trying to kite this one out. Remember, sustain advantage definitely in favor of DAMWON in this lane. Those Piercing Darknesses continue to come out.
Yeah, it's very strange. You have to wonder how much Guger and Duckdom have actually played against this combo down there in bot lane. Now Beyond, he's moving straight on over to the blue side jungle. He has the Blast Cone available. Nuggery has the priority. Kuzan is going to be the first one that's able to go. Are they going to flip the coin? They're going to flip the coin. Here we go.
They're
Flip it
looking
up.
for Canyon, going to get in there with the Smite. King's Tribute gives him all of his health back, and he puts down some filthy ground and runs away.
What a
Thumbs up from team.
sinner.
Beautiful. That's what you do.
What an absolute sinner.
Did it work? Yes, it did.
Oh, man.
My hindsight's 2020.
So if he ends up losing the smite fight there, it's so awful, and it sets him so far behind inside of the game, but ends up winning. Guger and Duckdom, honestly, they're having a really rough time. The wave is in such a beautiful spot right now for Ghost and Beryl. Ghost did just lose his bone plating, but not the end of the world. They're not actively looking to trade. They're just farming grass for the Undying procs right now for Senna. Have hit level 3. Okay.
Yeah, that's the snare. And Ghost, remember, like, he just keeps throwing out Q after Q after Q.
Yeah.
And it gets really worrisome as the Hawk Shot is going to fly up the river. Canyon going to be able to take this Rift Scuttler. I believe the bottom one is going to be taken by Beyond. Grave 76 here on the map. I don't get to see that skin a lot.
Yeah.
See a lot of different ones, but not that one as often. Rich is getting pummeled a little bit in the farm, but you can see Noggery just playing very far up because of the location of his jungler. And we'll see how Showmaker's going to be able to go in this lane. We've seen a lot of Orianas be picked. Not a lot of them actually find too much success. And it feels like a lot of the time you're just giving away lane priority in the mid lane.
Yeah.
But that's not necessarily a thing that DAMWON ever gives away because, of course, they have Showmaker. So will the Showmaker effect be enough to actually get them priority where they may not necessarily need it? As, okay, Beryl is just going to create a clone of himself. And that's why Leona doesn't work out so well against good old Wukong.
Well, the other thing happening so far inside of this game is because of the wonkiness inside of Dynamics' draft, they can't feel very good if they're losing in these two lanes. I mean, you look at Ash's CS right now, and it's just
yeah, she's
really, really bad.
Down by 12
yeah.
against the Wukong, which is not super great. But it's almost to be expected. I just feel like Leona Ashe is a very different story. Yes, when you get level 6, you have crazy CC. Yep. But they're not going to be able to get through cleanse that easily.
And you can see Beryl is just going to shove in this last wave with Ghost. This is the only timing where they can die to a gank and they know it. That's why they're playing back a little bit.
Yep.
They respect the Fog of War coming from Tribrush because they don't know where Graves is. And so one of the things that is actually really interesting is that Guger just arbitrarily walks forward in a manner that isn't congruent with his behavior throughout the rest of the laning phase. it can actually feign Graves' presence. And honestly, take a look at that win rate. 1 win in 13 losses.
That's not great. The
Flawless.
only win was flawless on Sorry One Prince. Oh my goodness. Well, that's a
I mean,
stat.
he's honestly,
He's like Spring Lee Sin. He's picked up his mantle and ran with it.
very sad.
Yeah.
Atlas, very, very sad.
Unfortunate to say the least. Serrated Dirk going to be the first one here for Noggery, so we're going to go with the very popular these days Lethality Jace Builderino, and Rich with his perfect Seeker's Arm Guard choice to make sure that the Jace doesn't have a very good time here in this lane. Beyond going to steal away a bunch of popcorn chicken and then move into this mid lane. Showmaker playing with his orb. Adorable little skin here as well with this little hat. I like that one a lot. Gets lit on fire though. That isn't good.
Yeah, it's very rude actually. I'm not really quite sure how like Orianna feels about that, honestly.
I'd probably say negatively.
Yeah, I have to really wonder how her body feels when the temperature gets that hot.
Yeah, I mean, imagine like, you know, she's clockwork.
Right.
So
does it overheat?
maybe it ruins
reset?
the joints a little bit.
Right, that's what I'm talking about.
Oh, there's a lot of these things we got to ask questions about.
Yeah, these are the important things here.
Yeah, I know. Well, another important thing, I guess, is that the Cloud Drake's going to take. The next one's going to be an Infernal. Dynamics retain control of the early game Drakes, at least. Showmaker does take away that cannon minion and gets a shove in this lane. So as you can see, 7CS in the lead is the Orianna. She's having a good time so far. She's looking for a blue buff. Beyond looking for a steal, but he's not going to be able to get it. Throws in a collateral damage for fun. Not really going to find too much for it, though, as Beryl soaks up that volley. Ghost gets a cheeky auto, just wanting to get as many of these grass procs as he can find. And Noggery is stealing plates from Rich.
And Nuggery up here in top lane, taking a little bit of a trade right now.
Yeah.
But down here in I mean, everything is just very ping-pongy. This is the most lull state I think that we've ever had.
Especially for a DAMWON
there
game.
we go.
Yeah, Beryl says no, looks for his second set of knockups, gets it onto Dr. who has to flash Beyond. Might be in the right position, though, as Beryl, he's going to be taken down. Rich teleports in, and he's looking to try and finish this one. Flashes forward. It's a double kill for the top laner. Out of Dynamics. He tried to carry last game, and maybe he's set up to carry this one.
And this one is definitely going a lot better in Dynamics' favor. Rich did TP down bottom, though, so he misses this entire wave. Another turret plate. And we'll see if he can get top for the next wave. Because otherwise it does sort of balance out to an extent.
Yeah.
All things considered. So one of the minion waves is lost by Dynamics. You have Beyond. He comes in here. Now Beryl has flash available, but he knows that there's no point because the teleport in from Rich flashes point blank, manages to get out. And they crash the wave into the turret. So at the end of the day, though, the gold score not really there for Dynamics. Oh, yeah.
Next on to Showmaker, but he's not going to need to worry.
Oh!
Ooh, okay. Sneaks in the Paddle Star. Beyond takes away the blue buff. Not going to lose that one this time. Is Beryl trying to lane 1v1 against the Ashe. Still, slight advantage.
Yep.
Cull done here for Dr. though, so looking for another few stacks on that one. And has the wave in a very nice spot for safety. The problem is, if you're a Dynamics fan, is that DAMWON's comp is just going to continue getting better. They're down by 500 gold, yes, but when Beryl and Showmaker can get into a fight together, that's when things can become a bit of a problem here for Dynamics. But any sort of lead that the Ashe can claim for herself is definitely going to be good news, as Ghost shows up to the bottom lane yet again. And the bubble is going to miss onto Showmaker. Beyond still waiting in the wings, trying to find an opportunity. Going to be able to get there. 2 minutes on the Infernal Drake, which will be our second, meaning that Mountain or Ocean will be our souls this game. Much more exciting than the Cloud one.
He has the volley bearer mode. I hope he uses it again.
All right. Noggery taking a bit of damage here as the pillar comes down. The pillar of filth, in fact, is Beyond. He turns up, dashes on in, but otherwise isn't going to find too much.
Oh!
Yep, the arrow is going to pierce the heavens. As there's another ulti out of Beryl.
Oh!
The double knockup comes through. No flash on the Ashe this time.
Oh!
Ghost not going to find the snare onto Guga, who will make it to the safety of his turret. the damage has been done, and there was a slight gold advantage for Dynamics. That's gone now.
Yeah. And at this point now, Nuguri, he's blown open top lane. I mean, Rich should just take this wave back and then freeze it. He's not going to. He will Lightning Rush. Give him a second.
Yeah.
Ready? Here. There it is.
Yep.
There it is.
Saw him traveling through that lane.
There it is. Well, Enchanted Crystal Arrow goes wide, and because of that, DAMWON's like, okay, she doesn't have arrow. And they just jump on her immediately. And Guger, he could have died there too, but really nice sidestep.
Yeah, I like that a lot. So Guger does keep himself alive at least. Ghost building towards Black Cleaver first by the looks of things. See whether he goes for the Frozen Mallet second on the center. It's not a large amount of damage, but it's definitely more of the supportive style.
The other really weird thing here is that Dragon's coming up, and so someone might think, well, why would I freeze at this point in time? And it's, well, you won't beat DAMWON at the Dragon fight. Their items are completed. Zoe is waiting on something. You already have Archangels. Wukong and Senna are a lot stronger than Ashe and Leona at this point in time, and Jace has control. He's the one with TP.
Yeah,
so
also beating up the cannon a lot.
Right. Rich has really nowhere to be. He might just run over to the Dragon, but really, I mean, things would just get disastrous.
Oh, wow. Collateral damage used just to try and escape from a potential shockwave. That's real scary. That's another big button that Dynamics don't have available to them. Kuzan has managed to steal himself away a smite, though, which could be good news. Ghost and Beryl think about starting a fight. Beryl gets on in there. There's the Cyclone. It was a little bit late. He will find a second knock-up as Ashe is taken down before anything. Beryl even able to limp away for a very long time as Showmaker gets in there, grabs a double kill of his own. And now they should turn their attention to this second dragon of the game in the form of the Infernal.
And I mean, you just know there's no real way that they can try to win this. Now, Rich is going to go
Hail
in.
Mary, yep, flash immediately out from Showmaker. He cleanses everything, though, gets a shield from the Dawning Shadow, and the Shuriken.
And even the
not
Dragon's getting in.
Yeah, I know, what an aggressive.
What a jerk.
Whoa.
Oh, man.
Not great news. 2.5k now the lead for DAMWON. And, yeah, Dynamics. They thought they had an opportunity. Pincers are quite difficult. And DAMWON had to perform one, but they did so very, very nicely.
Well,
Kuzan.
oh, yeah. He's trying to
shop in this time. Was Canyon?
Fish for something. And not able to find it. I just want to point out, by the way, that looks like a shiny Tangela. Zoe skin?
Yeah, a little bit. Tank growth.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, there you go. So, fight comes in here. Duck Dom just getting lit up immediately. Nuguri comes in from behind. We mentioned he had teleport, and Rich can never be here. There's no universe where, even if he is here, anything really changes in the direct one-on-one fight. He tries to get a little bit sneaky, which they cut off, probably because the Dragon was not having it.
Yeah, and also, I mean, if Showmaker had have used any of his summoner spells in the last team fight, then maybe things would have been different. But unfortunately for Rich, he was unable to actually get on top of the Orianna because Cleanse and Flash were available.
Yeah.
Having a look at the gold, Nuguri, Showmaker, and Beryl with the most of it as a Solar Flare lands, but that is a decoy.
Yep.
So the joke is on you and beyond. Gonna waste a bit of time here towards the bottom lane. And this is what we were talking about when it comes to Orianna holding on to some potency. Okay, Nuguri's gonna find Rich. Slicing Maelstrom will come down though as the exhaust is here. Kuzan picks up a Ghost Blade and he's going to be able to take down Nuguri very comfortably, but Canyon, we'll see whether he can actually get some work done as the arrow sails by fantastically. Shockwave lands, and that is Rich punished for that one. 1-for-1 in the end, and Nuguri dying might actually be something DAMWON are happy about.
Yeah.
Because it seems to make him more powerful.
Well, and you can see that they've rotated for the 15-minute Rift Herald. There's no turret plates remaining, so it doesn't really serve that much of a purpose at this point in the game. All that's happening is Ashe and Leona are losing CS in lanes.
Yeah.
So they're losing CS, they're losing EXP. It doesn't matter about getting the Rift Herald. This is one of those trap things where people autopilot and just sort of do it, but they don't really justify or know why. And obviously in this instance, it's going to be really bad for Dynamics because it just sets them even further behind. Nuguri, is this an isolated death? I'm not totally sure. I guess not, because he's hugging Canyon when he dies.
He is.
So.
Please help.
Yeah. Showmaker comes in there, picks up the ball. The Shockwave, interestingly, because of the location, flips Kennen to the other side, but Showmaker still has enough damage to follow up and get the kill. It's a 3,500 gold lead right now.
Yeah, and it's in favor of the team that does have the scaling edge as well in
Yep.
this particular game. Ghost is going to scale for a very, very long time. Showmaker, especially with the build that he's gone for, is going to be very, very strong. I think he's going to go Seraphs into Spellbinder, which is going to mean he's going to be very speedy, and the ball repositioning is going to be pretty comfy. So DWG very, very happy right now. It's good to see the Orianna actually working. She's felt like a bit of a trap over the last week or so, just with her win-loss. But you could see there was like that brief window of time where where Dynamics had an advantage.
Yeah.
DWG sapped it all away.
Oh, Barrel. Oh, he's feigning decoy.
Oh, that was pretty cute. Jumps on top of Beyond. The best attempt to get out that I've seen for a very long time, as he should be able to make it. Shockwave immediately used. Rich just punished. And Barrel's still alive, by the way, guys. Just toying with Beyond and the rest of Dynamics, even given the kill by the rest of his team. Oh, damn, I think Barrel might be getting another one here, LS. He's playing real clean League of Legends.
And, you know, I really want to point out that Barrel, so far here in Summer, he's really just turned a completely new leaf. I mean, whenever I used to think of Barrel, I would think of him inting on tank supports and not really doing anything.
I think of him as like an Alistair one-trick.
Yeah, and all of a sudden, in Summer, he's playing top lane champions as support and carrying on them.
And making them look like
making
completely busted,
them
like
look
Pantheon, Malphite,
very legitimate. And
Wukong.
Normally, players don't have this kind of a turnaround at a point in their career where they've been around for a really long time. It's just not very normal. So you have to wonder, you know what? It was nuclear radiation poisoning. That's what was holding him down this whole time.
Oh, no. Come on, man. It's still too soon. We're going to have a look at this fight one more time. Showmaker gets very rudely interrupted from his abilities with the good old Ash Arrow, but it does ultimately nothing. And now DWG just getting positioning before this Mountain Drake comes up. So Mountain Salt going to be the soul for this game. Earth, Wind, and Fire. And DWG getting into position. Probably pretty happy that Dynamics took away the only Cloud Drake.
Yeah.
As now Beyond is down to half health. That was one Shock Blast.
Oh, and here's that Rift Herald. They rotated for it.
There it is.
In. Yeah, it's doing it. I do believe I saw a look, right hook, left hook. Yeah, died though.
Loved it. Canyon.
Not so good.
He's going to get bubbled for the minute.
Oh!
Solar Flare is going to land. Beyond has taken a lot of damage as now Canyon, with that Subjugate, is so tanky. Despite his low health bar, Kuzan trying to fight this one out as Barrel finds the backline. Rich in so much trouble. Showmaker has to go the long way around, but Barrel taking things into his own hands and survives. But I don't even know how, as Guga's just dead. Oh, he's just going to be left alive, as it should be. The ace, you're exactly right. Orianna finishes that one off, and now DAMWON will be able to grab themselves a couple of turrets in the mid lane, a Mountain Drake, maybe a Baron. They could get whatever they want.
And I mean, that is one of the most explosive turnarounds that I don't think anyone really saw coming. They're going to end up picking up the Mountain Drake for themselves as well. Let's take a look at this one more time. So, pay attention to Wukong on the flank. Really good Solar Flare, and it looks like they were going to be able to get a pick off of someone. Canyon runs in. Barrel in the backline, goes in assassination mode.
The Shockwave.
The Shockwave setting up for... Okay, you know, enough.
Showmaker just showing off as per usual. And Canyon going to grab DWG their second Drake of the game. 10 stacks on his Magi's. Showmaker, a very happy boy. He can see the fact that he's probably going to be able to go home early. Once again, as Dawning Shadow helps Showmaker out here, as sometimes your cannon just runs into the opposition mid laner. You know?
Well, Showmaker with the Magi's purchase.
All right, Barrel, gonna get caught out here. Arrow is going to join in. Yeah, that's about everything and the kitchen sink that's going to be taken here as Barrel trying to turn it onto Doctor. Finds another double knock-up. My God, I'm giving him the player of the game even for dying in that instant.
Yeah.
The best way to die he could have possibly done.
No doubt. Pretty much at this point, DAMWON, they're 8,000 gold ahead at 20. All it is going to take is one more team fight. And that should be enough for them to convert. Canyon is laughing at Kuzan right now. as he almost has that Spirit Visage completed. He's running on over, has Ghost.
Yeah, has a bubble as well, steals away the blue buff. He's going to get his health back up as well, very casually. Showmaker has their own blue. Kuzan landing some decent damage. As bubble is eaten there by the troll. He's not going to take too much damage here heading towards Spirit Visage like you were just mentioning. And DAMWON, yeah, this is the Graves not exactly finding the value that Dynamics really wanted in this game.
The cherry on top for me is the Black Cleaver purchase as well. None of the targets have armor.
He hasn't. Is he going to purchase it?
Absolutely, no doubt.
No, I'm saying, like, will he have enough money to purchase it before this game's over? That's what I sort of was thinking. Black Cleaver done for Ghost, though. He does have that one. See where he's going to go next. Looks like it is going to be lethality, so wants the Umbral Glaive as soon as possible for the vision control. As Showmaker gets flashed on, immediately cleanses. Arrow is going to connect as well. Showmaker surviving for a long time, but ultimately will be taken down as, my god, the AoE coming out of Noguri is huge. And Canyon is immovable. Finds himself another pillar as Noguri really wants these pesky minions out of the way.
Oh, Barrel.
1 for 1 there. Oh my god, the blast damage is just ludicrous. Barrel's, like you were talking about, looking for a potential flank. 2.5 minutes on the Mountain Drake, but Showmaker did get punished there, and he had a Magize. It's a lot of stacks down the drain.
A lot of AP was taken off of him. And let's take a look at how this all transpires. So, Canyon's there, and it looks like they were all on the same page with trying to go in. I mean, Barrel is just randomly in bot lane right now. So, I have to wonder, to what degree are they still taking the game 100% serious?
It is DAMWON, we have to remember.
Yeah.
Oh,
a little bit reckless. Really nice shock blast there by Noguri.
If Barrel had flash, he would have 100% used it. Unfortunately, didn't have that opportunity as Rich.
Oh no.
Oh dear, there we go. Found him.
That's kind of tanky, huh?
Yeah, he will have another knock-up, but flash will have to be employed, but he doesn't have it available. Devastating blow.
Yeah, out of mana. Yeah.
Scary.
And Wuhong doesn't have any pen, so Seeker's Arm Guard is coming in handy there.
Yep.
Okay, well, this is going to be Baron. That's 2.5, 3-man.
Yeah.
I can count.
2.5 man, yeah.
Yeah, 2.5, 3-man.
I see that.
Yeah.
Noguri will turn up and get the last few autos on that one. Canyon gets so much of his health back. Love King's Tribute, checking in on that one. He has his Spirit Visage completed. Seraph's Embrace going to be up again very soon for Showmaker. Canyon hanging out here in the mid lane. Arrow is going to connect. I don't know whether they can kill him in time. Even if a bubble lands. Yeah, it's just going to keep walking. Subjugate going to be used, taking a lot of autos, and eventually they take him down. The raid boss himself has been removed as Barrel. There's a control ward there, but I don't know whether it's going to be good enough. As again, he's just trolling him with his positioning, and Cougar got completely confused. Yeah, Doctor, he doesn't even need an ultimate, does Barrel? Didn't even have it available, and he's still flashing walls to grab kills here. Double for the Wukong from the bottom lane, who I think is winning by about 30 CS as well, by the way, guys.
Yeah.
Noguri lying in wait, looking for Rich, but it's a 1 versus 3, actually, and they're still running away from him. DAMWON, an intimidating team, to say the least.
And with a 10,000 gold lead, the Infernal and Mountain bolstering them as well. I mean, this game does not have much long left in it. Barrel is escorting the bottom minion wave right now. Trinity Force and Death Dance already completed on him. He's back to full HP. At the very least, they'll raise the mid tier 1 and the bot tier 3 turret before being repelled back. But the damage is most certainly done.
Yeah. Mountain Drake is alive. That is opportunity for Soul Point. DAMWON want to get there, but I don't think this game has another 5 minutes in it. As Arrow is going to connect into the back. It lands. Guga is going to follow up as well. So Ghost is being taken away. Beyond died somewhere. Not entirely sure what's happening there.
Oh, that pillar.
Could this be the Penta for Noguri? He wants to find it. Guga going to take a lot of damage. That's going to be the oh no, never mind. It's Barrel that locks down that kill, and everybody else is scattered. Kuzan, he's running. He's defecting. He's like, take me, DAMWON. You're a much better team. No, he's going to come back home again.
And that's going to be it. Crab Rave going out.
Well, it's a flanking teleport from Rich into his own base. as he's looking for it. He's got a cute top hat. And I think he's just dead. Yeah, just no damage available. The Nexus is going to fall. 25.5 minutes, and DAMWON make very short work of Team Dynamics in Game 2.
And, well, DAMWON in standard DAMWON fashion. Showmaker looking unusually disappointed, almost in a way. I don't really know how to.
I think it was the length of the first game.
Oh,
he looked at his watch. He looked at his watch, and he was like, "What, 9:30?"
Yeah, his favorite coffee shop closed.
Yeah,
that's what happened.
That's the problem. That's the issue. As I do want to shout out Rich. I think that Rich played very well in Game 1. I think he found some opportunities in Game 2. That double kill on the bottom side of the map. This guy is still really, really good. But unfortunately, DAMWON are just way better. They just look like a cut above the majority of the other teams here in the LCK. And even DRX didn't look better than DAMWON on the day. They just came away with 2 wins.
Yes. And so it's going to be exciting to see them clash yet again.
Oh, yeah.
In round 2. That will definitely be interesting.
That will mean that DAMWON will have double blue side as well.
Yeah.
Because we're going to be switching over to the second round robin, and you start on opposite sides. So we've seen that DAMWON have struggled. If they're going to struggle, they struggle more on the red side than the blue side.
Yep.
And so let's see what is going to happen here as our cameraman almost fell over. Recently started a Twitter, by the way. You can probably find it some way or another.
Cameraman?
Yeah, our camera guy who takes all of the the scrolling montage of photos.
Oh, okay.
Just recently started a Twitter. Kenzie was the one that was talking about
him.
it.
Okay.
Yeah. So, follow him if you're interested in LCK photos. But man, like, it's 9:35. I actually thought that it would be later than this because the first game wasn't super short.
Yeah, it was a little bit longer than normal DAMWON fashion, so
yeah,
a little surprising. Dynamics, I mean, they came into today's series looking like their approach towards it was very particular.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. It felt to me like they were feeling the gap between themselves and DAMWON, which I think a lot of teams have been feeling throughout the LCK, and it's far more difficult to take down a team that has built up so much of this momentum because not only are they more confident, but they also exude so much more power over you as well, so it's harder to overcome. So a lot of our players really need to pull it together to try and grab those wins, and the couple of teams that have been able to beat them, Gen.G and DRX, have shown that they can keep that mentality in check, which is really good to see. Let's have a look at some of these highlights, though, and it is going to be a lot of Beryl being real good.
Yeah, Beryl, I mean, I gave him player of the game. Here, he withheld his flash. He knew that Kennen would just pincer him no matter what. He would end up dying. Right here, going in onto Duck Dom. It was a pretty simple follow-up, but he had a lot of very good clone usage with the decoy, managing to do quite a lot for his team inside of this game. I think that if there was a second person to get player of the game, I probably would have given it over to Showmaker.
I think the Orianna was definitely impressive.
Yeah. Nuguri in Nuguri fashion. Dying.
Yeah.
Sometimes, but it's completely fine.
That's his power move.
It really is, actually, yeah.
And they were able to get a 1-for-1 for it as well. So Nuguri dies and they get a 1-for-1.
Yeah.
That's like the ultra play with DAMWON. And this was such a sick setup from Beryl. We thought that he was definitely dead.
Yeah. Beryl managed to live for so long, and Graves just didn't have any damage.
No.
At this stage in the game. It's also super under-leveled as very non-standard playstyle for Graves inside of this game. This was the Orianna Shockwave where it is Showmaker really setting it up, the floor, but Beryl is there with the flank.
And also survives for so damn long. Still didn't die at the end of this. Just tanked up every member of Dynamics, and this was the game-winning team fight.
Yeah, this was it. The ace that there was no chance really for Dynamics to try to recover from.
This is where Showmaker said goodbye to his player of the game.
Yeah.
Not great. Nuguri doing a bajillion AoE damage with his Shock Blast onto 3. That was terrifying. Canyon basically immovable in this game, but DAMWON, I loved the draft. I liked how they managed to put it all together and succeeded. But the way Beryl and Ghost played the bottom lane to be able to just stay ahead to the entire laning phase against an Ashe and Leona lane, it's just really impressive stuff out of the bottom lane of Dynamics. As, yeah, you can see, definitely a lot of damage out of good old Noguri.
Well,
and another pretty comfortable goal grab here for DAMWON.
Yeah,
Apart from that
DAMWON
one little
grab.
island there, we were going down to the Mariana Trench by the end, but a little island of hope for Dynamics, and I think that was when Rich was able to get his double kill. Just not enough follow-up afterwards. 25.5 minutes to take down that Nexus.
Not a very long game at all, by any means. And DAMWON's last game of round 1 is going to be versus Afrika.
Yeah.
In a few days, so that'll
Actually,
be...
no, that's the first game of round 2.
Oh.
Yeah, so they're done. Round 1 is
yeah.
over here. So they're 7-2, I believe, as the dust settles.
Yeah.
And they're actually first cab off the rank for round 2, and they will be taking on Afrika then. So interesting stuff. Let's have a look at it. It's Beryl. He got 7 out of 12, 9, 3, and 8. Damage taken per minute of 700 is real impressive.
He's tanking it up. That's exactly what he's doing. And that was really good.
It bought him, like, actually a necessary couple of seconds.
Yeah, he ended up buying definitely himself some time. And I mean, it's really nice to see people use Wukong in this manner.
Yeah.
Because it's not something that you see people do all of the time. And it's very simple, but nonetheless.
I think he was using sort of like fake clones a lot this game that we don't see as much of. A lot of our other players. Reminds me a little bit of like Faker and his Nico usage being quite unique. Other Nico players. This was definitely Beryl playing with it. And Guga fell for it.
Yeah, he
did. A few times this game, actually.
Yeah. So, very surprising.
Good stuff, though.
We'll see what he ends up saying in the winner's interview, as you know what this means, right?
This means we need to keep voting for Chovy. Yeah. They're going to be taking on...
We're going to be on a mission.
Humble Life Esports. That's going to be their last match, and it is possible for Chovy to make it to 700 points before the end of their first round robin, which would only be 100 shy of BDD. There is, of course, an entire second round robin. We just need to calm down and allow fate to take hold. Because if Chovy starts getting them by the end of the season, that only means that he can get MVP for playoffs much more easily. See what I'm saying?
Perfect. That was perfect. You gotta hold down the fort, by the way. All right?
I got you.
On the weekends when I'm not here, make sure to tell Valdez and Wadded.
Yeah. Oh, well, don't worry. We do. We
the middle box.
But you're going to get their final game for round 1, so at least you'll be able to middle box it every single time. So we're going to throw it over to G-Sun for some interview translation.
Congratulations on the win, and let's hear from Canyon and Beryl from DWG Gaming. First off, we had a lot of blunders, so the game got extended a little bit, but still, it's a big relief that we secured the 2-0 win. And Beryl, this was the last match for the first round robin, and I'm glad that we were able to close it out with a win. Beryl, you are now on the second place, the sole second place on the POG standings, but at the beginning of the split, you said you are the lower ranked support player. I think it is time to promote yourself, how strong you are here in LCK. How do you feel with these POG points? I still think the same way. It's just my team's playing really well, and my team just sets it up for me. Beryl sharing the credit with his teammates. And moving on, DAMWON with these end of the first round robin. That's going back to the DRX series. What was the feedback about after losing that series, and how did the prep go for today? In the DRX series, we were not calm. We are too and overexcited. This time around, we wanted to be controlled. In game number 1. So you guys did look quite aggressive. So however, was the call mainly about to be staying calm? Not really. I mean, We had to think what we could do at certain point of the games, but we couldn't really pull it off back then. In game number 1, both mid laners took Electrocute and Ignite. It was a very intense competition coming in, and as support and jungle, were you guys also taking a lot of care onto the mid lane? LeBlanc versus Zoe. I heard, like they said something about Electrocute and Ignite, that it's gonna be better. And at the very early phase, Zoe had to use his flash, so yeah, I had to take an extra care onto the mid lane. And what's your thought on Graves? It's sitting on a very low win rate here in the LCK. I think Beyond played Graves a lot, so we expected him to play this today as well. But I'm not sure why Graves is having a very low win rate. I mean, it's a winnable champion if you play it well, but you have to play around Graves. And Burrow, you have a lot of POG points, and you are the dream of the support players here in the LCK. Solo kill down the top laners, and you're being so strong, like a solo laner. How are you enjoying this pick given to you? Compared to the conventional picks, it's indeed more enjoyable, but at the same time, Ghost is sacrificing a lot, and his sacrifice allows me to go for those picks. DAMWON, you guys are on 9-0 win rate on the blue side and losing a bit of a games in the red side. Do you also acknowledge this difference depending on the side? I personally think that the red side is not having a big favor in games. For the pick and bans, blue side can have a better edge, so I believe blue side is having a big favor in game. We are moving on to the second round robin, and your first opponent will be Africa Freaks. What's your mindset for that series? We got a 2-0 win against them in the first round robin, but we will stay calm and we will do our best to get a win. Now, second round robin is starting, and we fairly got enough win points, so if we keep up this hard work, I believe we can become the #1 team of the regular split, so we will do our best till the end. This will be the end of the interview with Kenyon Burrow from DAMWON Gaming, and I'm going to pass it back to our casters. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jisun, as usual, for the interview translation. Great to hear from Beryl, who is definitely very respectful to his 80 carry next to him. DAMWON moved to second place above Gen G, thanks to all of their 2-0s that they've picked up this split, giving them so much game score. Plus 12 is just insane.
Yeah, plus 12 is super good for them. We'll see what ends up happening, obviously, with DRX and Gen G as the remainder of the split goes on. T1 and Africa, they're sort of neck and neck right now. T1 obviously has another game to play. It's actually going to be a telecom war coming up tomorrow.
Exactly.
And then SP or SB is going to be the question tomorrow.
Which S two-letter team name is going to come out ahead? And I think the Yamato Magic will have something to say about this particular series. Solo and Prince have not had a very good last few matches, and I think that Sandbox have been looking better and better, especially given the fact that they don't have to go against the top teams in the LCK anymore. Their first 5 matches certainly were rough when it comes to the schedule, and that's why Solo One Prince is going to be their last one for this round. So some interesting matches coming up tomorrow. The Telecom War is no longer the same as it used to be, but still going to be an exciting one, and we'll see whether we're going to get Tucson back on the Rift, or whether it's going to be double top laners again, or what's going to happen for KT as they look to try and take on a wounded T1. If there's ever a chance for KT to do it,
it would be now.
It is absolutely now. But speaking of now is time for us to go. We'll see you tomorrow for more LCK.
told me to be myself and never feel alone. You're all that I want, you're all that I need. If I was ever in the dark, I'd see. You've always believed and have faith in me. You'll always be my hero. I'm happy for everything you've done. You'll always be my hero. You like the lightning red. I am so strong. I feel the freedom to be who I can be. You'll always be my hero. Always believe and have faith in me. You'll always be